starting over, my name is Sandy. I'm from the UIC Student Employment Office, and I'm here with my colleague.
Hi, Carol from Career Services.
And today we'll be presenting on how to prepare for a virtual career fair on Handshake. And the intention of this webinar is to help prepare you for any virtual career fair that you may be thinking of attending at UIC on Handshake. And the next immediate one that you may want to be prepared for is the virtual internship and part-time job fair happening on January 28th, 2021 from 1 to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So as we go through this webinar, we'll be going through some sort of tips and tricks on how to get ready, how to get familiar with the platform, and basically get yourself in the best place possible before the virtual career fair. After the slides as well, I'll also be stop screen sharing this and go actually onto Handshake and just do a quick little walkthrough of the platform so you guys can see in real time what it looks like, how to register and sign up for sessions. Okay, so on this slide here, this is actually just a list of super helpful links and stuff like that that Handshake and the Career Services Office already have gathered for students to prepare for career fairs, virtual or in person, no matter what. I do have this slides as a PDF, so I will be putting that in the group chat. So students, you can download the file and it will have the links in that PDF, so you'll be able to click on it and whatnot. But yeah, Handshake already has some pretty good and detailed step-by-step how-tos in terms of how to interact in a virtual career fair on their platform, as well as some helpful guides on the bottom right there. So again, I will be providing this PDF in the Zoom group chat towards the end of the webinar, and it will have all these links. Please make sure to check them out to sort of reinforce the things that we are going to be talking about today in this webinar.
Sandy, do you think you're going to put this on Career Services and Student Employment? Will we post it there, or are you going to email it to the attendees today?
We can do all three, actually. You know, we'll
Okay.
get it in more places than not. So that way students have the chance to get this information. So as Carol said, I'll go ahead and post on Student Employment. Carol will post it on the Career Services website, and I also will be sending out an email to all registered attendants to this webinar with this information as well. So hopefully you get it. If you don't get it, you can just email us and we'll be happy to share the information as well. We'll provide our contact information at the end of the webinar. Okay, awesome. So again, super helpful. Definitely recommend checking this out. And it does have a lot of the information that we're already talking about in this webinar, but it's a nice way to go back and reference it and sort of reinforce it. Okay, as I said before, the next career fair that you want to be prepared for if you're planning on attending is the virtual internship and part-time job fair. It's Thursday, January 28th, 2021 from 1 to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're looking for an internship, part-time, or seasonal position, this is the fair that you want to go to. And this is also the first fair of the semester. So if this is your first time attending a fair, again, as I said before, it's a nice way to kind of get your feet wet and get used to the platform and get used to the format.
And you can register for that fair on Handshake. The registration is open, so you can register now if you want.
Yes, registration is currently open, and I will be taking you guys through a quick little walkthrough of the Handshake platform as well. So we can go through it together, and I'll show you like exactly where to click and exactly where to go in order to get that. Okay, so let's move on. The 8 steps for preparing your virtual fair, and we will go through each of these steps in more detail as we go through the webinar here. So first off, you want to prep yourself by updating your profile, uploading your resume, and changing your settings to community. Number 2, you want to register for the fair for sure and sign up for employer sessions. Third, you want to research your employers. 4th, developing your elevator pitch, talking points and questions. 5, prepping your environment by finding a nice quiet location and a neutral background. 6, being aware of your schedule and being on time to your sessions and dressing appropriately. 7, being curious and asking good questions. And last of all, applying for the actual jobs itself and making sure to follow up and connect with employers after the fair to continue your networking. I went through that really fast, and that's because we are going to go through each of these steps in more detail. Okay, so first off, updating your Handshake profile. So we're talking about Handshake a lot because Handshake is going to be the premier website that we're going to be using for job boards, for our job board services, career services management, and career development events. So if you haven't done so already, you need to first have an account on Handshake and fill out your profile. If you are a current UIC student, you have access to Handshake. You can log in using your normal UIC net ID and password, same thing that you use for your email address. And you can log in through there. Once you've claimed your account or you've started your new account, fill out your profile. It takes you step by step by filling in the information to put your profile in. The Handshake profile is really helpful in that the more information that you put into it, the more it comes back to you. It helps you get personalized recommendations for upcoming virtual events and jobs based on the information that you're putting into your profile. And how it helps you in the career fair is that recruiters actually also use the information that you put into your profile to find students to invite to apply for jobs in their fair sessions. For example, there are two types of sessions at the fair. They're either one-on-one or group. For one-on-one sessions, some employers will use the profile information to screen students based on your qualifications. Where do they get your qualifications? That's the information in your profile. So if you want to be considered for all the sessions that you can possibly do, make sure that your profile is updated to the best of your ability as much as you can. Check that the basics are accurate, such as your graduation date, your school year, your major, GPA, and work authorization. Select your interested job types, locations, and roles. Add your courses and skills, and any previous work experience. It's very similar to having a LinkedIn profile. So if you do have a LinkedIn profile, you can use that LinkedIn profile to help you build your Handshake profile. Or you can actually also upload a resume and Handshake will pull the information from your resume into your profile and help you fill it out that way. Moving on to the resume, make sure that you do have a resume uploaded because employers can see your resume or pull your resume from your profile when they're meeting with you. We do highly recommend that you get your resume reviewed before you upload, and we will be sharing some opportunities where students can get their resume reviewed before the fair itself. Both Carol and I do appointments, we got walk-in hours, and we also have another pop-up session, a pop-up resume review session before the fair itself. The last step is to update your settings and privacy to community so that you have access to both group and one-on-one sessions. If you don't do this, then you may not be able to join all the sessions that you want to. And so if you want to make sure you have access to that, make sure you update your settings and privacy to the community setting.
Sandy, I was just going to say one more thing about the qualifications. So sometimes employers will put some qualifications on, like maybe must have a GPA over 3.0, or they're just looking for a certain major. So if you sign up for one-on-one sessions and you don't get anything back from the employer saying, oh, you're signed up, and it doesn't appear, it's probably because you didn't meet their qualifications. So, and also sometimes it takes a while for the employers to get these sessions up. So for instance, Sandy was telling me that she has 20 employers that have registered, and they're starting to get their calendars set with the one-on-one session, group sessions. So if you go in to try to set up your sessions, it could be that they haven't set anything up yet. So just remember to keep going back and checking on that.
Yes, exactly.
But if you do have questions about this, once you start setting up your calendar for the fair and you can't figure out what's going on or why they're not letting you sign up for one-on-ones or whatever, you can always reach out to us too, and we can go through that with you again.
Yes, for sure. We're here for any sort of help or any sort of assistance that we can offer. And, now is the time to do so when you have a lot of time to build your sessions and get prepared because the fair is about 2 weeks away. Okay, so the next step is to actually register for the fair itself and sign up for employer sessions, as Carol mentioned. you want to register for the fair on Handshake, and I will show you during the end where to go to. But it's going to be all on Handshake, so it's a kind of a one-stop shop. You can sign up and register for the fair and employer sessions all through the same page. Again, we will be using this platform for our other career fairs for the spring 2021 semester. So the internship one is on 1/28. We have an education career fair on March 3rd, the all majors career fair on March 18th, and the recent alumni career fair on May 27th. Once you register for the fair itself, it'll give you the button to look for available sessions. From then, you can filter down the list of employers that are registered for the career fair by different kind of filters, by location, by the type of positions they're offering, such as full-time, part-time, their industry function, the job function, so on and so forth. As Carol mentioned, employers are the ones that upload their own schedules, so they pick the times that they are going to be there. And that goes for both the one-on-one sessions and the group sessions. They can be there anytime between the hours of 1 to 5, but again, they're going to pick the exact time slots that they choose. For the one-on-one sessions, those are 10-minute sessions between you and a representative of the company. And as Carol mentioned before, this is the ones where employers can choose qualifications in order to register for this one-on-one session. The group sessions are 30 minutes long, and these are open to all students, no qualifications required. If an employer does not have any sessions currently, like you see their name, but they don't have any sessions, they probably just haven't set it up yet. And this happens because we do have new employers registering every day. And so it's kind of an ongoing process. So we do recommend checking back regularly to sign up for sessions and to see what new ones have been updated. You can sign up for sessions the day of the fair. There's no limitations to that, but we do recommend that you try to sign up in advance so that you are aware of your schedule and so that you are prepared for, how long you're going to be sitting there and talking to people and whatnot.
I'll also say that we've had some fairs where students waited till the day of, and then there weren't really a lot of options for sessions left. So that's why it's good to get in there and set up your schedule too in advance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is, it's not an unlimited amount of sessions. Since the employers are the ones that control their own schedules, they may choose to schedule, let's say, like 10 sessions, one-on-one, right? And so once all those 10 are gone, then they're not going to open up any more unless a student cancels or something like that.
Sometimes they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes originally, or they'll have a certain number, and then they'll see there's a huge demand, and they might set up some more. But that's not always the case. So your best, I don't know, I would say try to do it in advance. Don't wait till the last minute, because then you're going to be rushed and you might not get to see who you want to see.
Okay, so now that you've signed up for your sessions, or maybe you're in the process of looking to see what sessions that you want to attend, this is the time to actually research the employers that are going to be there. You can find out which employers are attending by looking at the career fair details page to see the full list, unfiltered and whatnot. And then from there, you can actually go to each employer's Handshake page to learn more about them, which will have their current job openings, what their company does, what events they're hosting, things of that nature. And from there, you can decide and prioritize who you want to meet with and then sign up for sessions. And you can cancel these sessions later if you need to. So you do have the option to manage your own schedule and pick and choose from there. Once you've, researched, did like a precursory research of your employers and you've picked your sessions that you are going to be attending, then we recommend at this point that you research the employers that you're going to meet with more thoroughly. So go beyond their Handshake profile, check out their actual company website, put their name into Google to see if there's any like recent news articles or any other relevant information to gain some more information about them, which you can use to help kind of structure the conversation when you're meeting with them one-on-one. Okay. So now you've done all the logistical part, you've done your own like handshake preparation, you registered for the fair itself, and you signed up for sessions, and now you have a couple, let's say 3 to 4 one-on-one sessions. In your one-on-one sessions, what we recommend to have is to have an elevator pitch. And having an elevator pitch is a short like overview or introduction about your background, studies, and career goals about yourself that'll help you start off the interaction in a positive way and be able to let the employer know what they want to know about you, because they're scheduling these one-on-one sessions to learn more about you. So that's the opportunity to make a good first impression, to market yourself to the employer as a prospective candidate. Think about why you might be a good fit for the company's opportunities. How does like your major, your classes, your skills and experiences relate to the employer? So that's why researching thoroughly about the employer you're going to meet, that's where it comes in. That's where it's going to help you sort of make those connections and really develop a good elevator pitch. And we do have a link here about an elevator pitch here. That's also on Handshake. So you'll be able to click on that link and find out more about how to develop one and get ready for that. In addition to the elevator pitch, it's also good to have some questions to ask to the employer while you have their attention in that one-on-one session. So I would recommend, again, using that research to prepare maybe like 1 to 2 in-depth questions that you can ask while you have their attention. And overall, be enthusiastic, curious, and polite in your interactions with employers. Okay, the day of the fair itself. My biggest thing is to dress professionally. I think I get this question from a lot of students, like, oh, like I'm at home, it's a virtual fair, I'm not gonna go see anyone in person. Do I need to dress professionally? And my answer to that is yes. I recommend that you do dress professionally and nicely, even though you won't be seeing these people in person. Dressing professionally helps you make a good first impression, and it does help boost your confidence. I would also recommend that you find a quiet spot and a neutral background on the day of the fair itself. Maybe a room where you can close the door if you happen to live with other people or if you have pets. By doing that, by getting yourself a quiet spot, you're limiting any distractions that you have for yourself and also for the people you're meeting with as well. So I would say do a sort of test run through before the fair, figure out where you're sitting, figure out what you're wearing. Most importantly, test your technology. So test your video or whatever computer you're using, test your audio. We recommend using Firefox or Chrome as the preferred browsers. And if you are having any issues in terms of using the technology, that's when we would recommend that you reach out to Handshake by reporting a problem or reaching out to one of our offices to see if we can help you as well. Student employment and career services will be at the fair itself. If you need help, we will have an open Zoom session where you can drop in, ask your question as often as you'd like, and we will be there for the entirety of the fair itself. Okay, during the fair itself, you do have the option of joining the sessions 5 minutes in advance, and you can click the Join Now button to do that. If you're late, it's okay. If it's missed, you can always get in contact with the employer later, but still be respectful of the employer's time. I would still treat this as any other professional networking opportunity. By being punctual, you're showing that you're being respectful of your time. At your one-on-one session, you can start off by introducing yourself, go ahead and do your pitch, maintaining good eye contact and practicing active listening skills. Smile and nod occasionally as you would during an in-person conversation, because sometimes it's kind of hard to tell when you're just looking at each other through a screen. So by doing those sort of active motions, it helps to keep the interaction up. Be curious and ask questions, and be upbeat and pleasant. At the group sessions, I would, in order to stand out amongst the crowd, I would recommend that you ask questions that will impress the recruiter. And your interaction options during the group sessions include using the chat box, raising your hand, or your video. For these sessions, the employers will control the method in which they're interacting with you. Okay, so you're done with the fair, you've met with all the people, you've done all the sessions, so what do you do now? this is where you can go in and actually search for and apply to the employer's open jobs or internships through Handshake or their preferred application method. I would consider sending a thank you note to any employer contacts that you met on the fair. So if you had a group session and it was hosted by someone, or a one-on-one session and you met with someone, don't forget to grab their contact information if possible, like an email address or their LinkedIn, to say thank you for meeting with me. It was really nice talking to you, so on and so forth. And that's how you're going to keep the sort of momentum going, like from that personal meeting with the employer, by connecting with them, and also by following their Handshake page to get any notifications of new jobs posted and events. And you can also apply to their current jobs and internships as well. Okay, so that brings us to the end of what we have prepared for you today. Essentially, it's all about, it's a lot of prepping, right? It's a mixture of what you would normally do for an in-person fair by developing your elevator pitch, researching your employers, getting your questions done, and with some new things to keep in mind, such as remembering to register for the fair, signing up for your employer sessions, and making sure your technology works and everything like that. But hopefully this helps give you guys a little bit of guidance in terms of how to do the virtual fair on Handshake. And now I'm actually going to go ahead and stop sharing really quickly and navigate over to the actual Handshake website and show you guys how to register for the fair and sign up for the employer sessions. So just give me a couple minutes here.
After Sandy finishes this, we can take you off. You can unmute and then you can ask your questions. But yeah, start thinking about what sort of questions you have. It's kind of hard to imagine what it's going to be like till you actually do it. And we will have a room. So if during the fair you're confused, you can come to the room and ask questions and we'll help you out too.
Yes, well, exactly. We're going to be there every step of the way until the end of it. Okay, so as you log in, this is what your homepage should look like. So when you want to find the fair itself, you can go ahead and click on events right here, which does pull you to like all the other career development events that are hosted on Handshake, but you can always click the career fair filter to filter down just to fairs. And then you're going to go ahead and find the fair that you want to register for. So currently there's 2 fairs open for registration from UIC, the Internship and Part-Time Job Fair and the Education Virtual Career Fair as well. So for this one, I'm just going to click on the one that's happening this month as an example. So when you look at here, this is what we mean by the career fair details page. You can read more about what the fair is like. And here are the employers that are currently attending, and you can actually click the full list right here, like this, and filter by location, full-time, part-time internship, and other filters as needed. When you're ready to actually register for the fair, you're going to go ahead and click on this button right here on register. And you're registered, simple as that. You do get an email notification to your UIC email account to let you know like that you are registered, and that's a confirmation message. But you can actually move on from here to sign up for sessions. So here you're going to click View Employer Sessions. Okay, and then you're going to scroll down right here, and now you'll see the full list of employers, but now you'll see what type of sessions they are offering. So for example, this employer is offering 4 group sessions. This one's offering group sessions. This one's offering individual sessions in addition to group sessions, so on and so forth. Once you pick an employer group or one-on-one session that you want to apply for or that you want to sign up for, you can go ahead and click like this. Read over the details, what they're looking for, what are the job titles they're offering, and all those other details, and what the time is. Oh, let's see here. I'm sorry, this is the whole time right here, but this one you're actually signing up for the 1 to 1:30 Central Standard Time, and press confirm right here. And then you get this little green confirmation bubble. And then you can actually go to your schedule right here, and then you get to see all the sessions that you have signed up for. And then when you are actually ready to start your session, you're going to go ahead and navigate back to this page and join video whenever it starts. And as a reminder, you can start this session, or you can enter the session 5 minutes prior to the session time. Okay, so
yeah, but I was just going to say too, if it's not purple, it'll turn purple when you can join. Otherwise, it's not going to turn purple. Also, if you're in a session and you decide, oh, you know what, I don't really like this session, if you leave, you can't come back into the session. So think about that before you leave. And also, if you leave a session, you really can't go to another session because it's going to show that you're already registered between this time frame. So if you thought, oh, I'm going to go quick to another session between that time frame, it won't let you do it. So you are somewhat limited in jumping around.
Yeah, so I would definitely be careful in what you choose and make sure like the session that you sign up for is the one that you want to attend. If you'd like to cancel your reservation prior to the fair, you can still click on like this bubble right here, and then the cancellation button is right here. And then once you cancel it, then it removes it from your schedule. All right, so that is my short little walkthrough of the Handshake platform.
One thing I was just going to say, it showed something about uploading your resume there, and that was new. I don't think that I've seen that before. I think that's a new feature, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, let me click on it right here. Add your resume.
I was also going to have you maybe go walk through the profile.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Oh, let's do this in order. Let me go through the profile first, and then I'll go through the documents. So that way. Okay. So regardless of you've set up your profile before or whatnot, I would still recommend going through and checking to see if there's any sections that you've left blank or you haven't put all the complete information to make sure that it's correct. So you can edit any of these sections by, clicking the pencil button here. And this one right here too, the your interest part, I would say this is pretty important to fill out. So that way the employers can see like what your job interests are, what kind of roles you're looking for, and what sort of industries you're looking for. As you can see, if I tried to go to the career fair like this, like with my current profile, I'm probably not going to be qualified for a lot of sessions because I'm only 15% complete, right? So I would recommend you do the exact opposite of what this profile looks like and definitely get some more information into here.
Sandy, can you go up to your little initials up there and just show them maybe the different features there? We had a question about for international students and their, what is it called? Sandy, refresh my memory. She was just asking about, she doesn't know what her status is.
Her work authorization status?
Well, yes, exactly. And how would she find out what it is? Also, if you're international, maybe you want to explain that if you're international, usually you can only work on campus until you've been at UIC for, is it one semester or full year?
I'm not quite sure. I would say to be safe, if you want to inquire about your ability to work off campus, to consult with your Office of International Services advisor, since they will be able to look at your visa essentially and see what the rules are for. But as far as I know, if you are an international student with an F1 visa, you can technically only work on campus per your visa requirements. So if you have specific questions about what you can and cannot do, always go to OIS. They'll be able to give you a more definitive answer. In regards to the work authorization status, I don't believe that students can actually see that on their profile. That would actually have to be...
You can. You know, Sandy, you can put down, you don't have to put in your work authorization. You do it yourself. It's not like on the other one where we had, so you can put it in, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But you will find that some employers are really only hiring US citizens, or they'll indicate what status they're looking for. Or they'll say we are not able to sponsor international students. So you'll want to be attentive to that.
Okay.
That could be a qualifier too. So if you signed up for a one-on-one session and they're saying we only will meet with people with work authorization and you don't have the right work authorization, you might not get the one-on-one. So, I mean, it's a little confusing. I realize that, but, you know.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Carol.
Sure. That's
No, I think that's very good information to know. It's nice. It's good for students to know that. Is there anything else that you wanted me to show about the profile before I move on to documents?
Maybe like the privacy settings where you would change it to the community.
Okay. So where you would go for that is you would click on your initials in the corner and then go to settings and privacy right over here. And then you can actually scroll down here and see where the privacy box is. You would click on the community option here, and that means that your profile will be visible to employers, students, and alumni on Handshake itself, and that will also allow you to have access to all the available group and one-on-one sessions, so you won't be restricted. And then also here is actually the work authorization box right below it as well, so for anyone's reference. While we're also on the topic of how profile settings and privacy, let me also show you where you're going to be uploading your resume. It's going to be on the documents page, which is again underneath the your initials right here. You're going to click documents here, and you can select from your computer and whatnot, or drag and drop a PDF or Word doc, and that way it'll be visible on your profile. Handshake also has a couple of visibility options once you actually upload a document onto here. So if you are going to be using a resume for the career fair, we recommend that the visibility is, I believe the word is called open. It was in one of the help guides that I was reading about the career fair for students. So I will definitely include that link in the resources so that students can take a look at that as well.
Yeah, you can put lots of different documents here, cover letters. Somebody asked about unofficial transcripts. Those would not be something you need to show employers at this stage. So don't worry about that. But right, there should be a default type of resume so that when you go to the fair, they only have access to maybe that one.
Exactly.
So there's a way to differentiate, because you can have different versions of your resume and other documents.
All right, cool. So that is what I want to show from the platform. Was there anything else that you wanted to show, Carol?
No, I think that's it. But, you know, I think it's a good exercise just to go through all of them and just check them all when you are checking your profile, just to see if there's something you missed, or maybe you want to change it before the fair, that kind of thing.
The last part here, again, is just a recap of those resources that we had at the beginning of the webinar, and we will be sharing these resources both on our websites and through an email, and I also have a PDF that I will put through the group chat as well. Okay, lastly, so we do have Career Services and Student Employment do have some upcoming events for the semester and in preparation for this internship fair. So please check out our websites for information in regards to that. And check Handshake too. We do post on the website and Handshake for all these events. We are having a live chat Q&A session on January 26th from 3:30 to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time if you have any last minute questions in regards to the fair on Handshake. If you'd like to do a one-on-one advising session, both Career Services and Student Employment offers those, so you can send us an email or give us a call in order to do so. And in regards to getting your resume reviewed, you can get your resume reviewed during an appointment or a virtual walk-in. Career Services has walk-ins on Mondays and Thursdays, and Student Employment also has them on Thursdays as well in an earlier session. And if you have any questions, here's our email addresses for both Carol and I, so please make sure to, or you can go ahead and send us an email whenever you'd like to. And if you also happen to be a student from like the College of Engineering or the College of Business, Public Health, or LIS, here are some other career centers on campus that have resources for you if you happen to be a student from those colleges.